What is Buddhism? When mentioning Buddhism, many people may wonder, is it a religion, a philosophy, or simply a way of life? For many, Buddhism can take on various forms, but its essence always points to one thing: understanding oneself and the world, in order to live a peaceful and liberated life. Today, we will explore the essence of Buddhism together, presented in the simplest and most understandable way, so that everyone can feel the profound meaning of this ancient wisdom. First of all, the most important thing to understand is that Buddhism does not focus on worshipping any creator deity. The Buddha, the founder of Buddhism, never claimed to be a god or a supernatural being. He was just a human like everyone else, but he awakened, realized the truth of life, and showed others the way to follow that path. Buddhism is not about worship, but rather a journey of awakening, a path of understanding, mindfulness, and compassion. The goal of Buddhism is to help us recognize and overcome the suffering of life, in order to live a more fulfilling life. To understand more clearly, let us begin with the first and most important lesson that the Buddha taught: the Four Noble Truths. These are the four fundamental truths that everyone who follows Buddhism learns and practices. The first truth is suffering. This life inherently contains suffering, from minor worries to great losses. The second truth is the cause of suffering. It is due to greed, attachment, and ignorance. We suffer because we always want more, fear losing what we have, or do not understand the true nature of all phenomena. The third truth is that suffering can be ended, meaning that if we recognize and let go of the causes of suffering, we can achieve peace. And finally, the fourth truth is the path that leads to the cessation of suffering, which is the Noble Eightfold Path. The Four Noble Truths are not dogmas to be blindly believed in. The Buddha always emphasized that each person needs to observe, experience, and verify these truths in their own lives. It is an invitation to self-exploration, a reminder that happiness and peace are not found far away, but rather in the changes in each person's perception and actions. Next, let us explore the Noble Eightfold Path, the Eightfold Way that the Buddha outlined to help us overcome suffering. The Noble Eightfold Path is not rigid rules, but practical guidelines for living a meaningful and awakened life. First is right view, seeing the true nature of life, understanding that everything is impermanent, changing, and nothing is eternal. Second is right intention, nurturing good, compassionate thoughts and letting go of negative thinking. Third is right speech, speaking truthfully, kindly, and constructively. Fourth is right action, acting rightly, avoiding harm to oneself and others. Fifth is right livelihood, choosing a righteous profession that does not harm society. Sixth is right effort, making continuous efforts to improve oneself. Seventh is right mindfulness, always being aware, clearly recognizing what is happening in one's body and mind. And finally, right concentration, cultivating focus, calming the mind to achieve deep peace. The Eightfold Path is not just for memorization, but for daily practice. When we apply these principles to our lives, we will gradually notice changes in our thinking, speaking, doing, and even in our perception of ourselves and the world around us. It is a process of transformation, from the inside out, bringing clarity, balance, and inner peace. The core of Buddhism lies not in belief, but in practice. Meditation, mindfulness, and compassion are methods that anyone can apply, regardless of what religion you follow or what culture you come from. Meditation helps us listen to ourselves, recognize the emotions and thoughts that are occurring in our minds. Mindfulness helps us live fully in the present without being caught up in the past or worrying about the future. Compassion helps us open our hearts to love and forgive ourselves as well as others. You do not need to change your religion or beliefs to practice these things. Buddhism is an open path that encourages each person to observe themselves, experience on their own, and transform themselves. It is important to know how to let go of the ego, to realize that all suffering can be alleviated if we know how to live with wisdom and compassion. Finally, Buddhism is the path of awakening for everyone, not just for monks or those who have renounced the world. Anyone, regardless of where they are or what they do, can learn and practice the teachings of the Buddha to live a more peaceful and meaningful life. Every day, just take a little time to listen to yourself, observe what is happening in your mind, and you have already begun to walk on that path of awakening. If today these shares open a new door for you, let's continue exploring deeper into Buddhism and the wonderful values it brings. This journey does not need to be rushed. Just with patience and sincerity, day by day, step by step, you will feel the miraculous change in your soul. Every breath, every moment is an opportunity for you to return to yourself, to realize the inherent peace in each present moment. Buddhism is not about lofty, distant concepts, but rather simple, relatable lessons that help us live better and be happier amidst this ever-changing life. Remember that awakening is not a destination, but an ongoing journey. As long as you are willing to open your heart and ready to practice, the path of Buddhism will always be wide open, welcoming you with all its compassion and wisdom. So, no matter who you are or where you are, try to take a little time each day to observe yourself, to listen to your soul, to slow down, and to deeply feel each moment. That is the first step on the path of awakening that the Buddha pointed out to us thousands of years ago. If you find these things meaningful, continue to accompany us on the journey of exploring Buddhism, a journey of understanding, love, and peace. Be patient, be sincere, and believe that everyone can find true happiness from within themselves. Wishing you always peace and awareness on every step of your life's journey.